We have some storms in East Alabama in effect for those people near the CST River along the Pickens-Greene County line. In this segment up and through here. County. But other than that, that's all we have in terms of the warnings right now. We are hoping that once the sun goes down, the air becomes a bit more stable. Things calm down later this evening. This is the Skycam network. This is the Fayette County Courthouse. And obviously, our friends in Fayette County are watching the Lamar County storms carefully. We have seen very, very frequent cloud-to-ground lightning. That's the Fayette County Courthouse. The tornado warning for Lamar County will continue until 5:30. And again, the Weather Service has identified 2 possible embedded tornadoes in Lamar County. One was just about 4 miles north of Vernon. The other was north of Cruz. That's not too far from Sulligent, moving northeast at 45. And we have heard of no damage from the southern storms. Let's go to our Skycam if we can. We'll go back to the Skycam net. We'll go to Livingston, the camera that's on the campus of the University of West Alabama. We've had a series of these storms with the evidence of rotation coming through this part of Sumter County. And you can see everything looks fine there. This is on the campus of the University of West Alabama. Still very high dew points. It is a ripe, juicy air mass. Wind out of the southwest at 15. But the good thing about the wind being out of the southwest at 15, that lessens the degree of helicity or the veering of the wind with altitude. When you see the wind out of the southeast in the low levels, that's more problematic. So hopefully that wind shift to a southwest direction will improve conditions or at least reduce the chance of additional tornadoes down there. Let's go back to the high-res radar. And again, this is pretty impressive. We are watching 2 spots, as you can see, right here and right here. All right, this is pretty decent evidence of 2 perhaps tornadoes. And I can't tell. You know, people say, you look at this, is this an F1, F0, EF3? We don't know. You don't rank tornadoes looking at radar. You rank them by looking at damage that they cause. So we can't look at this and tell you what size tornadoes these are. We can look at the environmental conditions and have a rough idea of what to expect. We don't expect the violent long-track tornadoes today. But let me tell you something. You get an EF0, EF1 coming through your neighborhood, that's a big deal, and that can be life-threatening. So we treat all tornadoes the same, all tornado warnings the same. But again, potential for a tornado that's near or just north of U.S. Highway 278. And again, if that continues on that track, it'll be coming up into Lamar County. Now, the good news that the Weather Service is beginning to expire these tornado warnings. The first one they just expired is the southernmost storm in Sumter County. They're not going to extend that. So, again, for those, and what that's done here, this is going to enable us to say traffic along Interstate 5920 is good. Let's go back to the main graphic system. This is the warning the Weather Service is just canceling right here. So Interstate 5920 will be free of tornado warnings now. And again, a lot of people are traveling on that route coming in from the southwest. The warnings we have in effect now, this one and this one. We have 2 in effect for our state, for the western side of the state. Again, the Weather Service has canceled this one. We have a tornado warning in effect for northern Greene and southern Pickens. This is for rural parts of West Alabama near the CST River. And you can see if that circulation stays intact, it might wind up in Tuscaloosa County. We'll wait and see what the Weather Service will do about that. And then in Lamar County, we have 2 circulations here coming up perhaps toward Marion County, and we'll see if the Weather Service extends these on out. The counties in purple, this is a tornado watch in effect until 8 o'clock tonight, and everybody over the northern third of the state under a flash flood watch as well. So let's go back to our high-res radar, and this gives us the best look at the circulation in Lamar County. And again, let me give you an all clear. This is the one thing we like to do, is give all clears. If you are now in Sulligent or Vernon, we can give you an all clear. The circulations are well east of you. So for those of you on Highway 17 and points west, the risk of a tornado is over from this storm. The greatest risk of a possible tornado will be in this northeastern part of Lamar County, near Beaverton along Highway 78. Now we got a tornado warning for Marion County. What the Weather Service is going to do is extend this on out into Marion County. And this, I'll tell you now, is going to include Guin. So if you're in the city of Guin or in the city of Winfield, this will include you. Let's go back to our main graphic system. Let me show you who's in and who's out. Here's our new warning for Marion County in northwest Alabama. Right up here, we'll zoom into this. And I might take that back. I said Winfield is in it. No, it's not. Winfield is not. It's a little surprising. That might change, but the Weather Service is issuing a warning for that northern circulation. So we have a tornado warning in effect now for Marion County. This includes the city of Hamilton. It includes the city of Hackleburg. It includes the city of Brilliant. It includes the city of Bear Creek. This is basically a pretty good chunk of the county. And I wouldn't be surprised if another warning pops up down here for the south end of the county as well, because we have two distinct circulations here. If we can go to our Hamilton Skycam, we have a series of these things up here. We have one at Hamilton High School, and we have another one at the Strata Station. This is the Skycam that is located at Hamilton High School. It's right there by the football stadium, and the dew point's up to 63. You know, in addition to checking the sky, we also like to check the numbers here, and that's obviously a little lower than Sumter County and Greene County, but still, that's a very ripe air mass for severe weather, and it looks like it's pouring rain here. And I will say there is evidence, perhaps, of a circulation pretty close to Hamilton. I've got 3 I'm watching on radar right now. And if you live in Hamilton, my advice, go to a safe place. Small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. You see people driving over there. That's, I believe that's US 43. And again, that's at the football stadium at Hamilton High School. If you're within the sound of my voice, we encourage you to be off the road. Whatever you need to do, stop at a convenience store, a gas station. Anything is better than a car. Go into some type of site-built structure and get off the road. So for those of you in Marion County, you're under a tornado warning for the circulations that are coming out of Lamar. In fact, let me show you. Let's go back to the high-res radar. Let me just show you what we got here. 1, 2, 3. All right. The northernmost circulation is going to be very close to the city of Hamilton. This is the middle circulation. I'm telling you, it's going to be coming up pretty close to Guin. If you're in the city of Guin, I would go to a safe place. Hamilton and Guin both. And obviously, we don't want anybody traveling along Interstate 22. Interstate 22 is the main interstate highway, Corridor X, if you will, through here. Nobody should be traveling on that route. That's the main route from Birmingham to Memphis. But circulation number 1 is approaching Hamilton. Circulation number 2 is approaching Guin. The southern circulation down here, that's going to be affecting maybe Winfield. And even though technically you're not in the polygon, that's the edge of the polygon there. Guin is in, Winfield is out. If you're in Winfield, I'd just go ahead and go to a safe place based on the fact that we have 3 circulations to the west of you. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. All right, tornado warning for Tuscaloosa County. So, this is going to be for the storm that is coming out of Greene. All right, so here we go. This is tornado warning for Tuscaloosa County. This is the circulation. It's relatively broad, but it could tighten up. We've seen it tighter than this. It's cyclical, and this will include the city of Tuscaloosa. So again, we have a possible tornadic circulation that is now north of Union in Greene County. This is in North Greene County that'll be crossing the county line, moving out of Pickens and Greene, and again, it's basically riding up the Sipsey River that'll be crossing into the western part of Tuscaloosa County. So if you live anywhere from Ralph to Romulus to Buell to Elrod to Coker, we want you to be in a safe place. Let's go back to our main graphic system when it showed the actual polygon, and this does include the city of Tuscaloosa, at least a large part of the city of Tuscaloosa. This is the edge of the polygon here, and you can see that it just clips Interstate 5920. But the bottom line is, from Interstate 5920 north, you want to be in a safe place. Again, this is Coker. You got Romulus here, Foster's, Ralph, Northport, Tuscaloosa. This includes the University of Alabama. It includes those people that live around Lake Tuscaloosa. So we have a tornado warning now in effect for Tuscaloosa County. As you know, we have a number of sky cams. Let's go to, first off, the sky cam that's on the Tuscaloosa County Courthouse. We're going to look back into this from the that view, and you know, we're in darkness now, and all we're going to be able to show you is probably a shelf cloud and a lot of lightning. But as we look at that together, we like to see the parameters. We've got the southeast wind in Tuscaloosa with the dew point sitting at 65, and again, that is pretty right. Now, the tornado warning for Greene and Tuscaloosa, this is going to be in effect until 5:45 this afternoon. So we have multiple circulations in West Alabama. We have tornado warnings in effect for northern Greene, for parts of Tuscaloosa County. We have a tornado warning in effect for Lamar County, for parts of Marion County. All of these are in West Alabama. And again, we thank you for watching us. If you're watching us on television or the live stream, we will be with you through this situation. We've had some reports of trees down with the storms in West Alabama. Let's go back to the radar, and let me just kind of show you what we got here. And again, this is the big picture, and you can see these clusters of storms in West Alabama that are in some cases producing circulations that have prompted these tornado warnings today. Let's go back to the high-resolution radar very quickly. And again, this is going to... Okay, it's not up. We'll check that in just a second. But again, this is going to be a situation where we've got people in multiple counties will need to do something today. We'll need folks that are in Tuscaloosa County, including the city of Tuscaloosa, to go into a safe place. We're going to need people that are in Marion County and Hamilton and Guin to be in a safe place. People near Beaverton and Lamar County to be in a safe place. All of these communities are in a situation where we have potential for tornadoes today. And again, it's going to be a day where these tornadoes more than likely are not the large violent tornadoes, but all it takes is a smaller one, and it can cause a whole lot of damage and be a direct threat to life and property. And we've got over in the office, Charles and Megan are both in here today. And again, we're watching reports. What you're seeing back here, that is a storm attribute table. And again, you can see we're watching the tornado impact number, and this is a day where you're seeing a lot of zeros. And which storm? Is this for the Tuscaloosa storm? The top one, the Pickens County, moving into Tuscaloosa. So this is a storm moving into Tuscaloosa County, all right. And again, you know, the rotation has been fairly broad down here, and that's one of the reasons we're not seeing these big numbers. But nonetheless, we encourage people to still go to a safe place. It's moving northeast at 55 miles an hour. And, you know, the chance of severe hail is just not there. These are storms that are not going to be producing large hail. The main issue, it's going to be strong straight-line winds. And the thing I want to stress down here, a lot of these storms are going to produce damaging straight-line winds. And really, it doesn't matter if it's a tornado or damaging straight-line winds. You need to know about it. So we'll take off the attribute table. Let's zoom back into the storm that is approaching Tuscaloosa. And again, the polygon, as you can see here, this kind of splits the city of Tuscaloosa in half. I'd say the southern edge of the polygon runs basically along that April 27th tornado track. It's out around University Mall and DCH and down here near Stillman College. Still, if you're in the city limits of Tuscaloosa, I'd be in a safe place because of the nature of what we have coming in from the west. But the polygon does include places like Ralph and Coker and Buell and Elrod and Romulus. It includes Lake Tuscaloosa. It includes Samantha. That's Highway 171, basically Brownville back into Northport. Those are the places in the current polygon here. So this is a tornado warning that is in effect for the city of Tuscaloosa that will be in effect this evening until 6 o'clock.
James, conditions are really starting to deteriorate on the really bad.
So let's take a look at the sky cam from Hamilton.
You can see here, it's just a torrential downpour at this point, but that circulation is right on top of this camera, or getting very close to the city of Hamilton now. We saw that on the high-resolution radar, which I think our Apple TV needs to reconnect. You're working on that now, I see. But yeah, it's getting really heavy rain moving near the high school at this point. At one point, we couldn't even see the lights right there. That's how heavy it was. So encourage everybody to be off the roads, be in your safe place. If you're in Hamilton, this is going to head up towards Hackleburg, Bear Creek. Haleyville's not officially in the warning, but you guys might want to go ahead and start putting into motion that plan. That also includes Phil Campbell. Yeah, you know, you guys also one of those April 27th cities that hit hard. So you know what to do, you know where to go. Go ahead and start putting that plan into action now. But conditions really getting bad at that sky cam there. And the rain now lightening up, but the wind just a moment ago was awful moving through Hamilton.
And just to note, the tornado warning for Lamar County has now been canceled.
Yeah, so let's go back to this high-resolution radar, Dennis. And again, this is the circulation that is coming up on Tuscaloosa from the southwest. And we encourage everybody in the western end of the county, Ralph and Foster's and Romulus and Buell and Elrod, Coker. If you live anywhere out here west of Tuscaloosa, be in a safe place. And certainly the city of Tuscaloosa itself, the campus of the University of Alabama, Northport, Lake Tuscaloosa, all the way up to Samantha. This is a circulation that continues to look fairly impressive, coming right up toward that core part of Tuscaloosa County. So that is circulation number one. Let me show you these other circulations up here to the north. And again, we have two clear circulations that are coming up through Marion County. And as Megan said, the warning for Lamar County is expired. We have a tornado warning in effect for Marion for these two circulations. One is near Guin, one is near Hamilton. And you saw the action coming from the Hamilton Skycam. These will continue to move to the northeast. Hackleburg is here. Bear Creek is here. You're in the tornado warning. You need to be in your safe place. The rotation coming out of Guin is coming up on Brilliant. And we'll see if this continues that northeastern track, and if we continue to see that, that of course means that we could very well have a tornado warning needed for Winston County. Let's go back to our Tuscaloosa Skycam, and again, we're going to bounce back and forth. And again, the warnings for Lamar have been canceled. We stress that. So we have tornado warnings now for Marion and for Tuscaloosa. And it's going to be a situation where today it's going to be very hard to see specific features because of darkness. But again, that is what you see there is a shelf cloud, a big storm complex coming into Tuscaloosa. This is from our Skycam on top of the Tuscaloosa County Courthouse. And obviously the lightning is pretty rough. And this is obviously not a time to be driving. The tornado warning polygon in Tuscaloosa County clips the Interstate 5920. So nobody should be driving on the interstate. Nobody should be driving, period. You should be off the road. Go to a restaurant, gas station, whatever place you can find. Nobody should be on the second floor of an apartment complex. Nobody should be on the second floor of any site-built home or structure. You've got to be down low. You do not have to be underground to survive this. That's a misconception. You just have to be on the first floor of a good, well-constructed building, small room, hall, closet, bathroom, away from windows and near the center of the house. It's not that hard. No mobile homes. You got to get out of those and get to a site-built structure. And again, no vehicles. And again, that is a severe storm that is coming up on the city of Tuscaloosa. We have a tornado warning that is currently in effect for Tuscaloosa County until, let's see, the warning is up for Tuscaloosa until 5:45. We have a tornado warning for Marion County until 6 o'clock. But again, that's the situation there. Let's go back to the high-resolution radar real quickly. We'll kind of bounce back and forth between Marion County and Tuscaloosa County and the radar. So if you can punch me back up on the wall, Dennis, with the radar. Again, this is the circulation here that's coming up on this part of Tuscaloosa County. And again, it includes the city of Tuscaloosa, the city of Northport, the campus of the University of Alabama. It includes Lake Tuscaloosa. It includes Samantha. This includes Foster's, Romulus, Ralph, Elrod, and Buell. If you're in any of these places, be in a safe place. Is this one of these large, violent, long-track tornadoes? No, but it takes a smaller one to produce the threat to life and property, and you have to take these seriously, even in a case like this, where this might be a tornado that's down for a while, gets off the ground for a while, comes back down for a while. We've got reports of trees down in parts of Lamar County from the storms that are now into Marion, but we have not heard of any specific reports of damage, which is good, from this storm as it came through parts of Sumter and Greene and Pickens. There could be some damage, and again, this circulation came through a very rural part of West Alabama. But at this point, we have not heard of any specific damage. Now, what I'm going to do is change the radar back over to the Columbus, Mississippi NexRad, and you can see clearly the two circulations we have here in Lamar County. So this is circulation number 1. This came through Hamilton. And this is circulation number 2. This came through Guin. These are both moving northeast. And again, you've got Hackleburg and Bear Creek up here. You've got the town of Brilliant right here. Obviously, nobody should be traveling along Interstate 22. Ultimately, these rotations will be passing north of Interstate 22 soon, but still, I would stay certainly off the highway. In fact, the southernmost circulation here should be pretty close to the interstate highway, but these are still looking pretty impressive on radar as they continue moving up in that direction. This U.S. Highway 278 right here, this is the highway that leads east out of Hamilton back over toward Natural Bridge, and again, nobody should be driving along that. So a tornado warning in effect for Marion County. In a few minutes, we can give you an all clear in Hamilton. I can give you an all clear in Guin. If you're in Guin, you're all clear from this. So that's the situation in Marion County. We'll go back to the Tuscaloosa County situation. And these are the two storms we're working. We have 3 distinct circulations, 2 in Marion County, 1 here in Tuscaloosa County. And this is a bit more noisy. Again, this is the data coming from the NexRad at Columbus Air Force Base. The problem we have with the Columbus radar is that they have a large growth of trees, and that can prevent this from working well at a great distance. So let me put back on the Birmingham NexRad. And again, this is pretty noisy. Look, I'm not saying there's no tornado here. I'm just saying it's noisy, and sometimes that means the circulation is not particularly tight. But the Weather Service is going to continue a tornado warning for Tuscaloosa County. They've canceled it for Greene. The rotation is out of Greene County. The tornado is moving northeast at 40, potential tornado. And again, it's going to be coming up in this direction like this. It passed over the community of Jenna, that is in the far northeastern part of Greene County. And again, that's going to be coming up right into perhaps the northern part of the Tuscaloosa metro, the city of Northport, Coker, Tuscaloosa right here. Let's go back to our sky cam again. I want to pick the one that's on top of the Tuscaloosa County Courthouse. And we obviously see a tremendous lightning display. But we got southeast winds at 13. And again, you go off the ground for a little bit. The winds veer back to the southwest. A good bit of low-level helicity. And that could set the stage for rotating updrafts. But again, I wish I could tell you we're going to see a lot on these cameras, but because of the darkness and the fact that these are rain-wrapped, we're just not. The tornadoes, more than likely, if they're there, they're short-lived, and these are going to be very hard to find. But the Weather Service has done a remarkable job today of identifying good circulations, putting out tornado warnings in a timely fashion, not jumping the gun for marginal rotations. And again, every tornado warning we've seen is very valid today. We should also mention the Weather Service is posting up an aerial flood advisory for parts of Greene, Lamar, Pickens, and Sumter. Flash flooding is the other element that we could see here. So, again, let's go back to the high-res radar. And I tell you what, if we can go back to our main graphic system, I want to see the polygons only. We'll take the radar data off. I want to see polygon data only. I think the Weather Service has adjusted the Tuscaloosa tornado warning polygon a little bit. We'll go into this and... let's see, we're looking for the polygons only, and I can give you perhaps what we like to do in a case like this is to let people know who's in and who's out, who's in the polygon, who's out of the polygon. And as I look at the new data I'm seeing here, it looks like they've taken more of the city of Tuscaloosa out, which is a good thing. So let's zoom into this, and we can go tighter on that. I'll show you who's in and who's out, and if we can, I'll do it on the system we have here that I control.
So let's do it on yours.
They
canceled it.
Canceled it.
They just canceled it as we were zooming in.
Right. So
excellent.
Right. I'm just saying, I'm not seeing anything. So the tornado warning for Tuscaloosa County has been canceled. Again, the tornado warning for Tuscaloosa County has been canceled. That means that you can, if you are in a safe place in Tuscaloosa County, you are okay. That rotation is just pretty much gone. I can't see it. So let's go back up to Marion County. We are down to one county under a tornado warning, and that's up in the northwestern part of the state in Marion County. And let's go to the high resolution. By the way, you saw Hamilton give you an all clear. Hamilton and Ewan, all clear for you from a tornado danger. Now, you're going to have rain and storms, but in terms of a tornado danger for the city of Hamilton, the city of Ewan, the danger is over for you. Still in the polygon, you've got Bear Creek, Hackleburg, Brilliant. They've taken Brilliant out, areas just north of there. So let's go back to the radar, and again, you can see these two distinct circulations, and this is the dominant circulation. This is the one that came through Hamilton. We've heard of no reports, by the way, of damage from there. And again, if you just missed it a second ago, but I want to stress that the Tuscaloosa County tornado warning has expired. No tornado warning for Tuscaloosa County, no warnings of any type for Tuscaloosa County. We have one county under a warning, and it's this one. This is Marion County in northwest Alabama. So again, we've got this lead circulation. If you're in Hackleburg or Bear Creek, you want to be in a safe place. The southern circulation is coming up. It'll be crossing Highway 278 about 5 miles west of Natural Bridge. And we'll see how the Weather Service handles this. They might...
It's interesting to note that Weather Service out of Huntsville has already issued a severe thunderstorm warning out ahead of this for Colbert and Franklin County.
Yeah.
So interesting that they've gone ahead and done that just to go ahead and get that out. For that includes the folks in Phil Campbell.
Yep. So again, Phil Campbell is in Franklin County right here. There's a lot of sensitivity here because the EF5, April 27, 2011, came through these two communities, and obviously there's still some fatigue after that. There's going to be fatigue for years after that kind of thing. But again, we've got a pretty good circulation that's very close to Hackleburg. And again, that'll be crossing over into Franklin County. The Weather Service in Huntsville putting out a severe thunderstorm warning up here, not a tornado warning. But still, if you're in Phil Campbell or Hackleburg, be in a safe place. It'll make you feel better. It's just the right thing to do. And again, that's pretty good circulation. The second circulation down to the south, that is also coming up It's basically on Highway 278 right here. Highway 278 runs from Hamilton back over to Natural Bridge and Addison, then back over to Cullman. And we'll see how the Weather Service handles Winston County. The next issue with this will be, what do you do with Winston County? And the Weather Service, in the next minute or two, will make a decision whether they're going to issue a tornado warning or go with a severe thunderstorm warning. So, again, we are in a situation where the warning for Tuscaloosa County has been canceled. I want to stress that. We have no tornado warnings in our end of the state except for one, and it's this one. This is for Marion County in northwest Alabama. We have pretty strong circulation in the community of Hackleburg, and this is looking from the Columbus Air Force Base NexRad right into this. We're looking right in the low levels, and it's got good circulation here. We've had reports of downed trees with these circulations, by the way, and as we stress, even if we don't have tornadic circulations, we can see strong straight line winds that could knock down a lot of trees and power lines in through here. So circulation one, circulation number two, moving to the northeast. Let's go back to our big radar if we can. This is kind of a big picture. We're working off multiple radar systems, and again, this is a look at the line of storms coming through Marion County. And again, Hamilton, all clear.Gue and Winfield, all clear for you. If you are in those cities, all of this is past you now. The line of storms stretching from Hackleburg down to Brilliant, down to Winfield. As you saw with the velocity display, we have two distinct circulations in here, and that's the beauty of Doppler radar. We've had it since the 90s, but I'm telling you, it's something we couldn't live without now, in that we can see within a storm these areas of circulation that we could not see otherwise. Back in the old days of reflectivity only, we'd have to rely on reports and look for shapes, and boy, that was so hard to do. This is Winston County here. This is Haleyville. This is Natural Bridge, and we're going to see if these circulations continue. And again, I would say the Weather Service, within a matter of minutes, will make a decision on what to do. What they do, and you know, they look at damage reports, they look at radar trends, they look at the environment, and they'll make a good decision on this. They have a full staff dedicated to the warning desk, and if they believe the warnings need to be carried out into Winston County, they will do that. Obviously, the largest city in Winston County, right in the path of this stuff, is Haleyville here. Haleyville sits right on the county line almost. You cross over into Marion County, Bear Creek sits right up in through here. And again, this is Franklin County. This is Phil Campbell right here. And again, that large tornado in 2011 came right in through here. So let's go back to our velocity display off the high-resolution radar. And again, this is coming off the Columbus Air Force Base. And again, I would say that this is clearly the most dominant circulation here near Hackleburg. We're kind of watching these other areas to the south. Those look like more like straight-line winds. The warning for Marion County continues until 6 o'clock. And I'll just read the text of the warning here. National Weather Service radar indicates a severe squall line capable of producing damaging straight-line winds and brief rain-wrapped tornadoes. That's a great way of describing this. These dangerous storms were along the line from Hackleburg down to Brilliant and Winfield, and again, they're moving on to the northeast. And next in line is Winston County. Highway 5 comes out of Jasper, Nauvoo, Lynn, Natural Bridge, Highway 278 here, Haleyville, and Double Springs is here, and we'll see how the Weather Service handles this. One way or the other, it certainly could be a situation where there could be some strong straight-line winds, and if there's not a tornado warning, the Weather Service would certainly consider a severe thunderstorm warning with this. So again, that's a situation here, and if you missed it, Tuscaloosa County, nothing for you. The tornado warning was canceled about 15 minutes ago. Let's go back to our big radar. Let me give you a big picture. Let's just show you the big view. Wherever you happen to be, take a look. We've had no issues for East Alabama. The risk is marginal here. I don't think we can pull up that day one convective outlook, but over here we have a marginal risk. It's a lower end risk. That is the lowest end threat. The standard slight risk from I-65 back off to the west, okay, and that's the standard risk. We've had this enhanced risk right in through here for Pickens, Green, and Sumter. I would imagine that enhanced risk will go away on the update from the Storm Prediction Center this evening, and we'll still have this slight risk up in through here. But no warnings for Tuscaloosa County. You've got storms approaching from the west. In fact, no warnings for any part of Alabama, at least on this end of the state, except for that right there. That is the tornado warning in effect for the northeastern corner of Marion County. This would include the city of Hackleburg. It includes Bear Creek. Yes, sir. Charles is raising his hand.
I'm just letting the producers know I'm pulling up the day one convective outlook on the Weather Center MacBook, if we want to pull that up. But they were also asking me if I heard them, so I'm giving them the thumbs up. So we're good.
We're learning our hand signals back here in the office.
If it's important, I'll jump.
There you go. Jump when it's important. Raise your hand when it's not important.
Right.
So far, so good. We'll go back to the high-res radar. We'll bounce back and forth between the two. And again, we're watching. That's the dominant circulation. And quite frankly, it's relatively broad now. We have evidence of high winds within the line of storms, and that's approaching Winston County. So we will see. And again, so far, the Weather Service is holding off for Winston County. They might opt with no warning. And understand, let me give you the definition. To be severe, a storm has to have winds of 58 miles per hour or greater, or hail 1 inch in diameter or larger. These storms aren't going to have large hail. The atmospherics don't favor that. So if the Weather Service thinks the winds in this thing are below 58 miles an hour, they will not issue a warning because the warning won't verify. And that might be the situation here. But again, rotation is near Hackleburg, and we advise everybody in Hackleburg and Bear Creek to still be in a safe place. The Weather Service in Huntsville has gone with a severe thunderstorm warning for Franklin County, not a tornado warning. The air is a little more stable as you work your way to the north, and that's certainly a good thing. But again, if you're in Phil Campbell and if you're watching me and if it makes you feel good, go to a safe place. You know, we've got broad rotation here, and that'll be coming right up on you out of Hackleburg. And again, looking at this, it just looks broad. This does not look like a classic tornado on radar, but there's certainly a sign of strong winds in here, and that's what we talked about before. If you get straight line winds of 50 or 60 miles an hour knocking down trees, that's just as big of a deal as a small tornado coming through. So you want to be in a safe place. Falling trees can produce a lot of injury and damage. The other problem we have now that it's dark, people are driving, and of course you shouldn't be driving in the midst of a tornado warning, but some people do. And if there's a tree down on a road, it's pouring rain, it's dark, you can't see it. We've had many people over the years that have really been injured by that. Yeah, I'm seeing that. So we do not have a tornado warning for Winston. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for Winston. So what this means is that we are going to be in a situation where we're not going to have any tornado warnings in the state. So for those people in-house, it looks as though we can start the 6 o'clock news on time. We do not expect to have tornado warnings at this point at 6 o'clock. So we have a regularly scheduled newscast on ABC 3340 at 6 o'clock. That's coming up in 20 minutes. So we're going to plan on starting the newscast in 20 minutes. We'll keep it here with weather until 6 o'clock. And, of course, if we have tornado warnings, we'll stay here. You know the way it works. We cut off whatever we have to cut off to stay with weather. But since the warning for Marion County will expire at 6 and the storms are clearly coming out. In fact, let me take off the velocity, stick on the reflectivity. You can see those storms are going to be exiting Marion County pretty soon. This is this one small tornado warning polygon that continues for this northeastern tip of Marion County. Let's go back to the big graphics, if we will, the main graphic system. Again, this is the line of storms here in West Alabama, and you can see it runs from near Phil Campbell down to Bear Creek, down to Brilliant. And this is a severe thunderstorm warning polygon for Winston County. This is not a tornado warning, so we stress the Weather Service has opted no tornado warning for Winston, but a severe thunderstorm warning. The winds here could exceed 50 miles an hour. That could knock down trees and power lines. If you feel like you need to go to a safe place, you go to a safe place. I mean, you do what's best for your family. This line will be coming through places like Haleyville, Addison, Double Springs, Lynn in the next 30 minutes, and it could produce winds maybe gusting in excess of 50 miles an hour. To verify the warning, the winds have to hit 58 at some point in here. And that'll keep on rolling to the northeast. But the good news is you work your way down to the south. We have not had any reports of high winds, of tornadoes, and we have no warnings to the south of this. So again, the warning for Tuscaloosa County, that went away. Let's expand this out. Let me just show you the big view. And again, let's go from the Columbus radar back to the Birmingham radar here. This is the Columbus Air Force Base radar. This is the Birmingham next rad. And again, there's your line of storms. It's moving into Tuscaloosa, but there are no signs at all of any weather that is severe by classic definition, 58 mile per hour winds or greater, or a tornado, or large hail. We do have, let's check the Skycam network if we can do that. Maybe we got the Tuscaloosa Skycam we can show. This is Haleyville, and yeah, we've got a lightning show that's nonstop if you're there. Obviously, a lot of people in Tuscaloosa County are concerned about the weather, but we stress, after our review, the Weather Service review, no evidence of a tornado here. You've got a ferocious storm. It is loud. The rain is tremendously heavy, but the winds are well below severe limits. You can see the wind at the Tuscaloosa County Courthouse is at 17. That's an average, by the way, a 1 minute average. The dew point sitting at 65. It is a tremendous light show. With very heavy rain, but no evidence of any tornado activity, and that's the reason the tornado warning was allowed to, be canceled earlier by the Weather Service. We're down to one tornado warning. It is for the far northeast corner of Marion County in northwest Alabama. It includes places like Hackleburg and Bear Creek, and that's it. And that warning will expire in 15 minutes, and I think the Weather Service will cancel it before then because the storms will move out of the county before 6 o'clock more than likely. But obviously, this is one of our, this is the Haleyville sky cam. That's a good shot, Charles and Megan. Thank you.
West-southwest.
All right, again, this is looking back to the southwest from Haleyville, and the lightning obviously there not as excessive as the lightning we saw in Tuscaloosa. But still, this storm is going to pack a punch. You can see the environmental conditions are very ripe with a high dew point of 62. And as the line of storms comes through Winston County, and again, what you've got here, it is a severe thunderstorm warning, not a tornado warning. But we'll keep an eye on that. You can see straight line winds that might exceed 50 miles per hour in spots. Seeing a note here from the Weather Service that they're watching some broad circulation that is in northern Tuscaloosa County, and obviously that is of interest. We'll keep an eye on things there. In fact, let's go back to the high-res radar if we can do that. Let me show you what the Weather Service is watching right there. All right, this is Highway 43 coming north out of Northport. This is the community of Samantha. This is close to Northside High School and Walker Elementary School. And again, what happens, you might see this on one volume scan, it goes away on the next one. But the Weather Service is going to watch this to see if they need to do something with that. That's a new circulation that just popped up. Again, this does not include the city of Tuscaloosa, Northport. This circulation is pretty close to Samantha, maybe just south of there between the high school and the northern shore of Lake Tuscaloosa, moving northeast. Up toward the northeastern part of the county. Just something to watch, and what the Weather Service does, they'll watch on a couple of volume scans. It might just fade away on the next one, but that's just something they're watching right now. While we have this up, we'll take a look at the data. Again, this is coming from the Birmingham NextRad site. This is not the Columbus Air Force Base data, which is a bit closer up here. But you can see evidence of strong winds maybe coming into Haleyville and Natural Bridge. This is the leading edge of the line of storms. There's no evidence of any tornado circulation here. And again, I would expect the Weather Service to probably cancel the tornado warning for Marion County at any moment. Number one, the storms are basically moving out of the county. And number two, there's not any evidence of rotation there. But that's coming up into Winston. And again, Winston County, that is a severe thunderstorm warning. This includes Haleyville, Natural Bridge, Lynn, Addison, places like that. One note, the Weather Service is going to extend the tornado watch until 8 o'clock farther to the east. So if we can go back to our main graphic system and show the watch warning map, wanted to show the new part of the state that is involved in a tornado watch. These will be the counties in purple. The counties that have been added are Autauga, Blount, Chilton, Dallas, Lowndes, Shelby, and St. Clair. So, like Blount, St. Clair, Shelby, Chilton, Lowndes, Autauga, Dallas, these counties have been added to the tornado watch until 8 o'clock. That's one of the options the local Weather Service offices have. They can adjust the Storm Prediction Center products, and I think that's a good call, and that we have active weather. So, again, this is an extension of the tornado watch to include Blount, St. Clair, Shelby, Chilton, Autauga, and Lowndes. The tornado watch for the counties here in purple until 8 o'clock. But the good news, we have no warnings within the watch other than these up here in the far northern part. Again, that's that northeastern corner of Marion County. The tornado warning that expires at 6, and they might cancel that before 6 o'clock because these storms are moving into Winston. That is a severe thunderstorm warning for the northern half of Winston County. We've also got severe thunderstorm warnings for a pretty good chunk of Franklin County, parts of Colbert, and parts of Lawrence up here in the Tennessee Valley of North Alabama. But it's encouraging to see back to the west, we have no tornado warnings in Mississippi, and we have no tornado warnings in the west central part of our state. And
has just moved into Haleyville.
Yeah, let's go back to the Skycam.
And you can see it blowing across this parking lot. This was that view we had last year of the snow just piling up.
Oh, yeah.
We don't want to mention that, but again,
no.
The heavy rain coming down at this point, and you'll see it blowing across. The winds just a moment ago were about 25, 26 miles an hour, but it looks like they've died down here just a second ago. But that's that leading edge. If that circulation that we've been following, the southern circulation still holds together, which we're hoping it's not. They're not going to extend that, hopefully. This would be passing over here in the next, I would say, 4 to 5 minutes. That's that southern circulation that we watched go through Marion County just a little while ago.
Yep. And again, this is not a good night to be out. And I'll say this, I don't like driving in severe thunderstorm warnings. It's not... We don't fuss at people like we do for tornado warnings, but understand if a tree goes down and you're driving, that's pretty dangerous. And with those strong winds like that, it's just not a good idea to be driving during a severe thunderstorm warning. So this is a severe storm. This is a line of severe storms. This is what's been coming through Marion County, coming through Haleyville now in Winston County. And the winds could gust to 40, 50, maybe 60 miles an hour, and that could be enough to knock down trees and power lines. And you can see the wind's pretty ferocious up in there. And again, the data you're seeing, that is a 1-minute average of 18. That is not a spontaneous wind gust measurement.
That is amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty fierce. And that is an example of what is happening up there in that northwestern part of Alabama.
And that circulation right now, per the weather, per the radar in Columbus, is right on top of Haleyville. What was left of that circulation? So that's what we're watching.
Yep. And again, the Weather Service also continues to watch that broad circulation that was in the northern part of Tuscaloosa County as we are. And again, no warning on that at this point. It's still there near Samantha. But again, the Weather Service is doing a great job. You know, one of the problems we've had as a weather enterprise, and I'm not talking the Weather Service, I'm talking TV, private sector, government meteorologists, we had too many false warnings. And that cost us April 27, 2011. And we've gone back to basic science, and we've really worked hard to reduce that. And the Weather Service has cut that sucker in half. The false alarm ratio was 80% basically in 2011. Now it's down to 40%. And what they're doing now with that broad circulation in Tuscaloosa County is exactly what they need to do. Again, while you're watching the Haleyville Skycam, let me just, one report of damage coming in from Sumter County, a tree down on a building in the community of Cuba on Pretty Branch Road, some damage and debris in the area. That's from the storm that came through there earlier. This is not current damage. It happened probably about 90 minutes ago, maybe 2 hours ago. Also, the Weather Service has posted an aerial flood advisory for Chilton, Coosa, Shelby, and Talladega until 8:45. The other issue is flash flooding that we're dealing with in addition to potential for severe weather, and obviously that is a problem as well. Let's go back to the high-res radar. Let me show you this Tuscaloosa County circulation. It's very broad. I don't think they issue a warning for this. It looked tight about 2 volume scans ago. It's gotten broad. Again, Tuscaloosa here, Northport here. This is Highway 43, Samantha's here, and this is moving. It's kind of on the northern fringe of Lake Tuscaloosa, but I stress there is no evidence of any really tight circulation. So the Weather Service, I fully do not expect them to post a warning, but the weather is just horrible in Tuscaloosa, the main line coming through there. If we go to maybe one of the cameras in Tuscaloosa, maybe DCH, if y'all can do that, just to show you what it's like. And this is not the time to be driving, obviously, but there's no warning here. And people say, why is there no severe warning? It's like severe to me. To be severe, by definition, the wind has to be 58 miles per hour or greater. We don't have that. You can see that the average there is 7 miles an hour. It's just not that windy. You've got ferocious lightning and thunder, but lightning and thunder is not part of the severe weather criteria. It's wind and hail size, and the atmospheric conditions don't favor large hail with these storms. Certainly not 1 inch in diameter. But again, that is the view looking west from atop DCH Regional Medical Center in Tuscaloosa. Down below, the lights on the right, that is University Boulevard. The lights on the left, that is Paul Bryant Drive. And again, you can see the weather is just horrible. But the good news, we have no sign of any tornado activity. And the Weather Service has now canceled the tornado warning for Marion County, which means for the first time in about 90 minutes, we have no active tornado warnings in effect. So our 6 o'clock news will start at 6 o'clock in 7 minutes. So we're going to keep it here. And at 6 o'clock, we're not going anywhere, but at 6 o'clock, we'll start our regular newscast at this point here on ABC 3340. So we're down to basically one severe thunderstorm warning. Let's go back to the big picture, if you will. This is our graphic system. And again, this warning has been canceled right here. So the tornado warning for northeastern Marion canceled. We have no tornado warnings in effect anywhere in the state. We have a line of strong to severe storms running from near Haleyville down to Tuscaloosa, down to Moundville, Utah, and Greensboro. There is one severe thunderstorm warning polygon for northern Winston County. This includes the city of Haleyville. It includes areas north of Addison. This is the southern edge of the polygon right here, the yellow line. That's the only warning we have, a severe thunderstorm warning for northern Winston County that'll be in effect for about the next 30 minutes or so until 6:30, so about the next 35 minutes. And that's it. The storms below this, down below this, yes, tremendous rain, tremendous lightning, gusty winds, but they're way below severe limits. No evidence of a tornado. So that's the encouraging news. These will be coming in the Birmingham Metro by 6:30 this evening. And it's the same thing. It's coming through Tuscaloosa now. And again, let's go back to our Tuscaloosa Skycam, one of those down there. This is DCH. Birmingham, you're going to look just like that at about 6:15 to 6:30. You'll have a whole lot of lightning, heavy rain, all this kind of stuff. But as long as the storms stay in their current structure, hopefully we'll get through this with no additional tornado warnings. All right, we are at a point now where the sun has gone down. The air tends to be a little more stable. Of course, understand, goodness, if you lived here for any length of time, you know we have some pretty rough weather at night in our state. We can and we will, and it's pretty rough tonight, but thankfully the storms are under classic severe limits. And those of you in East Alabama, Anniston and Gadsden, you'll deal with this later tonight, but the storms at that point should be weaker. The air is more stable on the eastern side of the state, and the risk there is much lower. It's the marginal risk, and that is the lowest end risk we have.
The heaviest of the rain seems to have passed Tuscaloosa. It's headed through Alberta City right now. That's where we have the lightning actually beyond the university now. So I've swung that around. We were looking at the Capstone College of Nursing just a second ago. Now we're looking back towards the east, and that's where we have the bulk of the lightning now at this point, moving through Tuscaloosa.
And again, it just seems like all of the major damage reports we have today, again, from parts of Mississippi. In Jasper County, we've had mobile homes destroyed.
That actually hit about a half-mile north of my father-in-law. That's where I was a little earlier today, dealing with making sure they were okay.
Wow.
But they had numerous trees down. He knows of one home at least damaged. Many of the roads were blocked throughout that county.
Goodness. All right.
But the family's okay.
That's good. That's all that matters.
Numerous trees down, though.
So again, if you're just joining us, it's coming up on 5:56. We're going to start the 6 o'clock news here in a couple of minutes, and in that we do not have any tornado warnings. Let's go back to the graphic system, Dennis. We have a line of strong storms in West Alabama running from near Haleyville down to about Carbon Hill, down to Lake Tuscaloosa, Cottondale, Moundville, Utah, and west of Demopolis, out around Bellamy. And these are moving on to the east. We have had a number of tornado warnings in our state. We have heard of no injuries. We've had some trees blown down in parts of West Alabama, but we've heard of no major structural damage in the state so far, which is good. Thankfully, many of the elements where we saw evidence of a tornado, it came through very sparsely populated parts of the state. And as the storms continue moving into central and east Alabama tonight, there is some risk of severe weather. It is rather marginal at best. Again, for the eastern side of the state, it's a very marginal risk. That is the lowest end threat. We have the standard slight risk up to about Interstate 65. Storm should be in the Birmingham Metro about 6:15 to 6:30 this evening. And again, at the moment, we see no evidence of a tornado, no evidence of extremely high winds. The one warning in our market, and again, this warning up here is expired, the warning for Marion County. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for the northern part of Winston County. That'll be in effect until 6:30. This is basically for areas along and north of U.S. Highway 278, and that's it. That is the only warning we have currently in effect. Double Springs, southern boundary of this. Within that, we could see some fairly strong winds. We watched the Haleyville Skycam. Pretty interesting as it came through there. Looks like the winds were maybe gusting to 50 miles an hour.
You know what? We lost power there for a moment because it's reset to its home position without us moving it. Power's back on now, but I know they've lost power there for a brief period of time there.
Yeah, and again, we'll check with Alabama Power Company, the various co-ops, and check on the power situation here just a little bit. But again, the good news, no major structural damage in the state so far. We've had some trees down. We're down to this one warning up here in the northern part of Winston County. The risk for East Alabama is somewhat marginal. Still, there's a risk. We'll be here watching the storms carefully, and we'll, of course, keep you advised. But what we're going to do, because we have no tornado warnings, we're going to start our newscast on time. A lot of things are happening, so we're going to pause. We're going to join ABC 3340 News at 6 o'clock. That starts right now.
Live from Alabama's news leader, this is ABC 3340 News at 6.
I'm Menorah Gathings. A tornado watch is still in effect for parts of Alabama. Chief Meteorologist James Spann has been here all afternoon tracking the storm. And James, how high is the threat for severe weather?
Nora, it's a lower-end threat for the rest of the evening. This is the radar. We're down to one warning up here in northern Winston County. That is a severe thunderstorm warning. Earlier today, we had tornado warnings for parts of West Alabama. All of those have been canceled. We have a line of strong storms now from near Haleyville down to Carbon Hill, Lake Tuscaloosa, Coling, Moundville, Utah, and Bellamy. The line of storms moving east as it moves into Birmingham between 6:15 and 6:30. The line could produce winds of 30, 40 miles an hour. A lot of lightning and thunder, but again, we see no evidence of any tornado activity, no evidence of winds greater than 50 miles an hour for now. There is a low-end marginal risk for the eastern side of the state later tonight. All of this winds down after midnight. Megan will have much more coming up in the weather segment. Nora?
The only person out here monitoring this weather. Several emergency management agencies also had crews on standby watching this weather move the area. ABC 3340's Larry Miller is live in Birmingham at the Jefferson County EMA, where crews are actively monitoring this. Larry?
Nora, right now crews are on standby monitoring the situation. Just like you said, we understand right now that according to them, it's still really too early to tell whether or not any cities within Jefferson County may have been impacted by some of this developing weather that we've been talking about throughout much of the day. Like you at home, they are also monitoring the reports from the National Weather Service. There's also, in addition to that, watching Chief Meteorologist James Spann talk about this developing weather that we've been seeing make its way from Mississippi into parts of Alabama right now. They say that given the situation, it is important for people to stay one step ahead of the storm, asking families to take into consideration some important questions about whether or not they're prepared should a storm hit their area. I had the opportunity to speak with one official who had this to say. Take a listen.
You always got to think positive. Do you know where your kid is? Do you know where you're supposed to go? Do you have a whistle? Do you have a hard hat or a bike helmet for your little ones or the elderly? I mean, do you know where your safe room is in your house? If you live in a manufactured home, do you know where your safe place is to go? It's a Saturday night. It's after 5 o'clock. Can you get to, some people always assume that they can go to their local church. Is the church open?
Yeah, it's really all about being weather aware, especially when we have a number of watches and advisories being issued, not only by the Weather Service, but of course, Chief Meteorologist James Spann and the weather team there. But given the situation down here in downtown Birmingham, all is well for the most part. We've seen a few showers here and there, but really nothing much to report aside from a few slick roads. And of course, in that situation, drivers should always take it easy when they're driving and make sure that they give themselves enough space between them and the driver in front of them as well. Now, of course, should things take a turn here, we'll bring you a live report. But for now, reporting live in downtown Birmingham, Larry Miller, ABC 3340.
Thank you, Larry. Many people in West Alabama, including those in Tuscaloosa County, went to their safe place not too long ago. ABC 3340's Sarah Snyder is live in Tuscaloosa. And Sarah, what did you guys see?
Well, Nora, right now we're at McFarland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa, right across the street from the mall. I can tell you that people around here have been bracing for this storm. There's really not that many people on the road as of right now. We're seeing very heavy rains, very heavy winds, a lot of lightning out here, but thankfully there is no significant threat for this area. We spoke to the Tuscaloosa County EMA a little while ago. They said that there's no significant damage reported at this time, so that is good news. They said that the staff there is keeping a very close eye on the storm. However, in Greene County, lots of trees down, lots of power outages reported along County Road 17. That's about a half a mile from Alabama Highway 14. So again, much of the damage from this storm has been in the Mississippi area, not so much in Alabama. But again, it looks brutal out here. There's a lot of heavy rainfall, very, very strong winds, and a lot of lightning. So we're going to stay in this area and keep an eye on the things that happen here. For now, live in Tuscaloosa, Sarah Snyder, ABC 3340.
Well, thank you, Sarah. At last check, there were 540 outages in central Alabama. But an Alabama Power spokesperson says it's unclear if those outages are storm related. Well, this is the number of outages that's typical on a normal day. Well, hopefully you have what you need to stay safe tonight. But if you're missing something or need to replenish emergency supplies, the state is holding its severe weather tax-free holiday the weekend of February 20th. Alabama waived the state sales tax on items like flashlights, batteries, plywood, first aid kits, and more. Now, the items must cost $60 or less. Several cities and counties are also participating. Birmingham is not one of them. Well, just a reminder that you can keep track of the storms by downloading our ABC 3340 weather app. It's available for both iPhone and Android users for free. Just download it through the Apple or Google Play stores. Football fans got drenched at the Birmingham Bowl. An estimated 30,000 people sat in the rain at Legion Field to watch East Carolina take on Florida. Now, this game and the Magic City Classic are now the only major sporting events held at the Birmingham Stadium. We spoke to several fans, all of which want more events like this one held at Legion Field.
Nah, we need more games here. We really do.
Oh, it do good for the community, man. It bring more people out to see how good Birmingham is, see how well Birmingham is. We can have a lot of more opportunities like this, and we'll just all stand behind it and do good with it.
Well, Legion Field was home field for UAB until the football program was canceled. Well, UAB students plan to rally on the campus green in support of that recently canceled football program. They'll gather tomorrow night at 5. Already about 300 people are signed up through a Facebook page to attend. 1 month ago, UAB President Dr. Ray Watts announced football, rifle, and bowling would be cut. He said the decision was made because of financial concerns. Well, 3 days into the new year, and Mobile police are investigating a third shooting, this one involving 3 victims. Police say 9 shots were fired on Starling Drive around 11 this morning. 2 separate homes and a vehicle were hit, injuring 3 people. They were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No arrests have been made. And a Troy University chancellor is coming under harsh criticism over a video he sent to students and faculty. The Dothan Eagle reports that Chancellor Jack Hawkins emailed a message with a video of a Harvard business school professor. In it, the professor recalls a conversation with a Chinese economist who said that democracy is successful because people are held accountable to society and to God. The video ends with him saying, if you take away religion, you can't hire enough police. Well, still to come, New York City police officers are saying goodbye to one of their own. We'll take a look at how the second officer shot and killed inside his patrol car is being remembered. Stay with us. You're watching ABC 3340 News at 6.